Alright, so today I want to give you an update on my snake room since I moved my rats out. I actually keep and breed rats and mice to feed my ball pythons. I've actually had them in the snake room pretty much from the beginning, ever since I started with ball pythons. It's been working really well, but pretty much the number one reason I moved them out is if you actually notice in a lot of my videos, you'll actually hear a lot of rats and mice kind of squeaking in the background. I actually ramped up my production of rats to go into the breeding season, and they've been just driving me crazy, just like squeaking all the time. You probably noticed it in some of my videos. I've actually had some comments on some of my videos. They're like, hey, I can hear the rats. And kind of the weird thing is the way I set up my camera. I have a really small room here, and the camera is right next to the rat rack, probably closer to the rats than the camera is actually close to me. So now, since I moved those rats out, I really opened up the whole room here. I actually had some, as a matter of fact, I was actually kind of shuffling around some of these racks because I didn't really have enough space. So what I did is I actually moved the rats into the basement section of my house. We really don't use the basement for anything but storage, which is kind of an advantage. I was thinking about putting them in the garage, but the problem is in the garage, a lot of times it can get really hot in the summer where I have to use some fans, and in the winter it actually gets, we've actually had 1 week where it was -40 Fahrenheit for a whole week straight outside. So I think, you know, moving them in the garage, I would actually spend a lot of money heating those rooms. So the only other option that I really had is to move them into the basement. And let me tell you, it is pretty amazing how much it really opened up this room. So what I want to do is I want to show you my new snake room. It really opened it up, and I have a lot of space here in the room. And I'll show you my rodent racks that I have in the basement too. It's kind of an advantage because before I actually had my rodent racks kind of up against the wall, and to service the back of the rack we actually had the food, I had to pull all the rodent racks out and spin them around to put the food in the back. And now that they're in the basement, I can actually walk completely around the rack and service it from the back and the front without moving the racks around. It's a little bit easier than actually kind of juggling all the racks here in the snake room. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a quick tour of my new snake room minus the rats that I actually moved out. Alright, so take a look at this. This is my new and improved snake room. I have so many tubs crammed in here. These are all ball python tubs, the ARS racks. Pretty awesome. And pretty much what I had before is over on this side, instead of this rack here, with this is actually a big hatchling rack, and I actually had over on the left over here, I had my ARS grow out rack for my rats, and it took up quite a bit of space and had a lot of squeaking rats all the time. It's driving me crazy in my videos, and it's pretty amazing when I actually pulled those out and put this rack in. This rack is a lot narrower, so it gave me maybe about another 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of space over here. So if you actually look at the size of this room, it's not really that big. There's not a lot of space. And then I have this table that slides around on wheels. This table is really awesome. It was a super expensive table. You can actually spin the thing and it goes up and down. Really super heavy duty table. I absolutely love it. And I use that table quite a bit in here. And then over here, essentially what it is, I moved out all the rats on the left, and then over on the right, I had the rats and the mice. Moved all those out and freed up a lot of space. So this is just kind of a utility shelf, which is pretty awesome. I have just random stuff on here. I actually have my dubia roach colony down here. And then over on this side, I've been trying to figure out exactly what to do over here. Look at how open it is. I have this big open spot over here. I actually have my ARS 7010 rack that I can put some more additional levels. I actually have another level on top of here that I haven't put on yet. And I bought 2 levels, but I've been just using 1 level as a quarantine, which has been working really good. And if you actually just look over here, this is the door to get out, and then just some random stuff over here on the shelf. So there's a lot of stuff crammed in here, but it's a lot more open than it was before. And of course, take a look at all these gnats over here on this flat paper. I still have this fungus gnat problem. Look at all those crazy gnats. I think I'm almost to the end of my fungus gnat problem. I've been hanging up all kinds of fly paper for those gnats and changing out the substrate like crazy. I think I pretty much got a handle on it. Every now and then I'll actually see a gnat here and there, which is hopefully I'm at the end of the tunnel as far as those gnats. And as far as all these snakes over here, these are all my grow outs and a lot of my males over here. This is my ARS 5040, and the 5040s actually stack on these old bullet tubs. And the boat tubs are currently empty. I just use them temporarily to house my retics when I'm cleaning their enclosure. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking about actually adding a boa to one of those boat tubs, which would be pretty awesome. So in here, this is just some of my growths. This one is, take a look at this one. This is my banana inchy clown. If you can take a look at this one, look at how beautiful this one is. I'm thinking about breeding this one for the first time this year. Really beautiful snake. And he is definitely breeder size. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start breeding here in probably another week or two. I'll start pairing up all my snakes. So that's pretty much what I have there. And then over here, I have all my hatchlings, and kind of the weird thing is my hatchlings, I started putting in the hatchlings in this ARS 1039, and as soon as I get about halfway down, I'd post them on Morphmarket and they'd sell right away, so I kept replacing the ones I sold. And then so I have this 1039 over here, and then I have the 1065, and this year I did not use my 1065. Usually what I do is I fill up both of these completely full. Last year I had this one full almost all the way down to the bottom. I had them both completely full, and then when I go to the reptile shows, I'd actually pick them, you know, just pull the snakes out and bring them to the shows. But now they've been selling so fast on Morphmarket, I don't even know if I need this 1065. I was starting to, you know, thinking maybe I'll get something else instead of that 1065, just kind of tuck it away in the garage somewhere or something, and then put in some more breeder racks or something. I could do a lot down here. And then over here I have all my ball python breeders, some of my bigger males. Bobby actually lives up here in this tub right here. When he's not around my neck in the video, he's just kind of hanging out in here. He absolutely loves this dark tub. This is an ARS 7030 tub where he pretty much lives full time. He really pretty much fills that up really good. As a matter of fact, I actually have an empty ARS. It's one of these bigger tubs down here, and one of these big ARS. It's like it's a 1065 tub. I actually just sold one of the snakes in here. So I'm thinking of kind of shuffling around some snakes that might be a little bit too big for Bobby. If you put them in too big of a tub, sometimes they can stress out a little bit. But I do have some other big females that I can actually move down there. And then this tub here, this is my retic, my super dwarf retic that is currently going into a deep shed. She's a little bit cranky right now. This is Sunny. He is part super dwarf and part dwarf. I've been breeding this one with Lucy, hoping that Lucy would actually lay some eggs this year. I don't know if she's going to lay for her fifth. She's actually 5 years old. I've been trying to get her to breed. But anyway, this is pretty cool. I actually moved my incubator in here, which is really nice. That I can actually keep my incubator in here with all my other snakes. As a matter of fact, with my incubator, I built it out of a beverage cooler, which is really cool. I actually found this beverage cooler it was on Craigslist. The guy bought it brand new, and it had a bad compressor right out of the chute, brand new. And I actually bought it from him. It still smells brand new. I've been hatching eggs out of here for the last 3 years, and you open it up and it still smells like a brand new cooler, which is pretty awesome. So that is my setup. Pretty awesome. As far as the snake room, no more rats squeaking, and I have a lot of room in here. Pretty awesome. And kind of the cool thing with more room is I can actually roll all these, everything's on wheels, so I can roll them out and easily clean, a lot easier than when I actually had the rats and I was kind of trying to shuffle everything with just a kind of a minimal amount of space. And I think I actually measured the square footage of this room, and it's right under 200 feet. It's kind of at a weird angle. It's not completely square. You can see it kind of has this kind of angled walls. It's kind of a challenge to actually work in here, but it is pretty nice moving everything out. And then over here, I actually have this unplugged. This is I actually have a heater and a little air cleaner over here that just circulates the air. It's really super noisy, so I turn it off during the videos. But that is my updated snake room. Pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about the new arrangement. All right, so I wanted to give you a quick sneak peek at my rodents and some of the storage stuff that I have down here in my basement. This is pretty awesome. So this is one of my racks. This is the one where I had my rat breeders, kind of like a grow-out rack, but I would do like colony breeding with 1 male, 2 females, and then they just raise the babies right in there. It's been working fantastic. We're kind of tucked right up here against the stairs, which is kind of cool. One of the kind of the challenges is the ceiling is really low, and to get up here with a gallon and to fill it, I was really worried about this, but it actually works where you can fill most of the gallon. There's just a little bit left in the gallon jug to fill it, not really too bad. I had a couple ceiling panels that just fell out, and we don't really use this down here that much, so I just kind of left it. And then I have a really cool plant. Hey, speaking of plants, take a look at this thing. This is really crazy. I actually found this plant in a dumpster. It was completely dead all the way down. It was just a little tiny ball. I found it maybe like 25 years ago in a dumpster and brought it back to life. It's been doing good. I don't even know what kind of a plant it is. Kind of crazy. But if you kind of look around the back here, I have a bunch of storage stuff, all my old cups back here. I have all my ARS displays. Look at all my, those are for the shows. It's actually 2 complete sets of displays, one for smaller hatchlings and then one for some of the bigger snakes. Those are really awesome, really expensive displays, and they're just kind of miscellaneous storage. And then you can actually see right back here, you can get right up to the rack and check the food. As a matter of fact, some of this is getting kind of low. Usually when I start seeing a little bit of screen in here, I'm actually going to do a run tomorrow and get some more rat food and kind of top it off, because they go, let me tell you, they can go through some food pretty quick. You definitely, that's the one thing with this up against the wall, is you have to constantly pull it out and check behind it, where now I can just walk right behind it and just do a double check and see if it has enough food, and you don't have to worry about pulling it out from the wall or anything. But that is pretty much my setup right there. Pretty awesome. I absolutely love it. The other thing that's a little bit more of a challenge with this is it's on carpet, and carpet is a little bit more tricky to vacuum than a bare floor. As a matter of fact, when I started in that snake room, I had carpet in there, and I ripped it all up and put that vinyl, it's like luxury vinyl tile in there, and it seemed like it was a lot easier to clean. So it takes a little bit longer to vacuum, and these guys kind of kick out a little bit of the sawdust shavings, and you know, usually get a little bit on the floor. As a matter of fact, it's been almost a full day, and it seems like they're not really kicking anything out. And it's a little bit cooler in here, not so hot. I don't think it'll really make a difference as far as the rats. It's probably, I'd say, you know, in the mid 70s, maybe it gets down to 65 in the winter, but not too bad. So that is my setup. I'm really excited. I actually got these out, and you won't hear it squeaking in the back of the videos, and it'll be a lot easier in the snake room trying to organize everything. So I was pretty excited about it. Just wanted to kind of share with you real quick some of the stuff that I got going on. I actually have an incubator over here. It's like a scientific incubator that if I ever run out of room in my homemade incubator, I can actually use that one. That is pretty cool too. So that is my setup that I'm pretty excited about. Hopefully in the future you won't hear any rats squeaking. So that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you later, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.